Hello everyone and welcome to another high-elo game of Age of Empires. Today we drove like mad on the Autobahn to get to the Schwarzwald to witness the Bloodless playing as the Blue Spanish take on the Goths being played by Dziamdziak in yellow. Now I'm assuming the DZI letters spell out J, but if you know how to pronounce this player's name specifically, please do let me know if I'm saying it wrong. Absolutely hate to mispronounce players' names in any event. While the players herd their herdables, explore their immediate surroundings, and try to go up to Feudal as fast as possible, let's take a look at the Civ matchup we'll be watching today. Now, the Spanish are a paramilitary civilization that absolutely adores its gunpowder units. Spanish gunpowder units fire 18% faster, and their unique unit, the Conquistador, is a heavy-hitting, less accurate mounted hand cannoneer that comes with more HP, more armor, but less range. Now, in order to defend these costly units on the field of battle, the Spanish can train missionaries, which are basically mounted monks with less range, and by the way, they can't pick up relics. But before you think the shorter range is a massive disadvantage, know that the Spanish may not necessarily see it that way, because they can upgrade both their monks and their missionaries to convert enemies much faster. Now, in order to support their military-industrial complex, the Spanish villagers do build faster, their blacksmith upgrades cost no gold, and their trade units generate 25% more gold. By the way, while we've been talking about Spanish Civ features, he has so far managed, as our yellow Goth, to lame one of the Spanish boars, blue desperately shaking, trying to take the second boar before these villagers lame it as well. Although not exactly laming it, the meat is still there. It just happens to be decaying. Now, why did I call the Spanish a paramilitary organization slash civilization in the beginning? Because they can actually upgrade their villagers to get extra 40 HP, more armor, and a +6 attack boost, which together with the sappers upgrades makes these Spanish villagers very, very good at taking down buildings, castles, towers, and even walls in the late game. Now, walls might be a very important thing to remember, since if you zoom out, we are on the Black Forest, the Schwarzwald map, which essentially narrows all avenues of attack into one location. The same location our Goth has moved 3 villagers and is scouting to. These villagers, by the way, still circling the Spanish base. They do not want me to complete my discussion, my overview of their civilization, but while he lames the Spanish berries, let's take a look at the Goths. My god, is there any more of a single-minded civilization in this game? They push their players towards one building and one building alone. I am, of course, talking about the barracks. The barracks for the Goths start the game working 20% faster, can be upgraded to work 219% faster, basically 3 times as fast, which is great because in Imperial, the Goths population does cap out at 210, compared to the usual 200. Now, any units that come out of the barracks do get progressively cheaper, all the way up to 35% cheaper in Imperial, and any unit that comes out of there does get an attack bonus against buildings up to +3 in Imperial, which makes them quite strong at taking down structures. Now, the barracks itself can also be upgraded to train the unique unit of the Goths. I am, of course, talking about the Huskarl, a unit that at this point needs no introduction. This is a archer hunting, archer killing machine, basically an infantry unit that comes with a big attack boost against archers and so much pierce armor that basically it is immune from almost our archer fire in the game. Now, the Goths, to support their big, hungry population, have hunters that are stronger and carry more, and their loom is researched, or rather the loom upgrade is researched in under a second. So the Goth villagers can potentially be harder to raid and kill almost immediately once the game started. For now, though, 1 kill for the Bloodless has managed to get a either a villager or a scout of his opponent. Let's take a look. Has he managed to lame the berries? He's managed to lame a little part of the berries, but for now, the scout is dead. For yellow, 3 villagers still around. Action already from the start of the game. This is the fun of Black Forest. Remember, the players, unlike in Arabia, I'm going to zoom out, do start the game on explored, so they do see the map, they do see the location. If you're not familiar with the Black Forest map, I'm going to zoom out. This is essentially a map that is covered in an inordinate amount of forestry, 751,000 lumber ripe for the taking, and that, by the way, is not including some of the smaller shrubs and trees and bushes that I did not double click. Now, usually in Black Forest, there's one, potentially two, even three avenues of attack only. It's not like Arabia where it's open. It's up to the players to decide how to attack and engage into each other. Here, as you can see, there's only one corridor where the players can engage into. Generally, you see some kind of shenanigans in Black Forest. In this case, Dziamdziak is the one putting on the shenanigans. Fishing ships coming out. He wants to teeth as many of these shorefish from this big lake here, this big Spanish lake that is spawned right next to the Spanish base. For now, though, our Spaniard, undeterred by early game shenanigans, has gone up to 24 villagers, a fishing ship. His opponent, 21 villagers and a fishing ship. So these three villagers that he had here in the beginning, significantly harming his economy early on in the game. Now, remember, this is 22 villagers minus all of these villagers. 1, 2, and I think there was a third, but I think it got killed. These are 2 villagers that are not exactly doing anything. So even though he's got 23 villager supply, it really is closer to 21. Bloodless being the first to head up to Feudal on the back of his 26 villagers. And let's see what happens here. Both players taking the shorefish. Like I said, Yellow trying to get his opponent's water because his water absolutely looks like it's absolutely terrible. Look at this. What can you fit in here? A dock and a dream? I don't even know if a dock will fit in there with that shorefish. And this one is also tiny. This one for sure can fit a dock, but not a lot of space for fishing ships. The Bloodless here spawning the better lake. Back in the day, lake's not really playing a huge role in anything, but in modern meta for Black Forest, definitely players of a high elo. And if you take a look, these are players with very good elos. Generally like to take the water, like to pump out docks. A cougar, or rather a snow leopard, very, very aggressively waiting for someone to bust through these these trees. But his cousin over here to the west already managing to get a few paw swipes at this one villager, who is going, no doubt, to lure these boar. Only 2. Surprisingly, usually they clump up in 3s. So there's only 2 here. I don't think Yellow managed to lame that boar, did he? In any event, Bloodless up to Feudal. Fire ship coming out of him. Rather, a fire galley. Yellow also hitting Feudal. Let's see if he decides to defend the water, if he just cedes control of it. He has walled off the Bloodless. The Bloodless absolutely cannot get into his base. So take a look at the Bloodless's vision. Doesn't know anything of what's going on inside his opponent's base. His opponent, on the other hand, with a cheeky little barracks, knows exactly what's up. Still has the palisades here. Still has the dock over here. Yellow, despite being down in score supply, does seem to be the one playing more aggressively. 3 militias out here. Has starting to accumulate more gold, immediately upgrading them to men-at-arms. So yeah, we'll see. Remember, the Goth barracks do start the game working 20% faster, can be upgraded with profusion, a massive 3 times faster than usual. And he moves out with his militia in a second or 2. They will be men-at-arms. We'll see if they can get anything done. We'll see if Blue is expecting it. Has he seen any of these structures? No, he is not. So Blue has no clue where the hell these yellow men-at-arms came from. His military supply non-existent. Does he even have a barracks? He does not, but remember, Spanish villagers do build structures 30% faster, which means that if he does start wanting to get a barracks, it's not going to take him that long to get it up, especially if he builds it close to the town center range here. Yellow, for his part, what is he doing? Continuing to take advantage of that extra 15 that the Goth hunters rather carry, and now he's going to get more and more food. How's his villager allocation? Equal amount on food and wood, a few villagers on gold. Blue, more on wood, a lot more on wood, very few on gold, and a okay amount on food for now. He needs to get structures up. He is going for a tower. Not sure this is the best way to play it, but the Bloodless knows what he's doing. We'll see if this tower zones it out. He must have seen the structures by now. Yeah, what he hasn't seen is the archery range, although suspecting that this archer didn't, this isn't Age of Empires 95 : the Star Trek edition. So these archers did not teleport here. They did not beam down from the USS Gothica. He must know that there is also an archery range here. So now Blue is stabilized. Tower in the back. Villagers in the front. Fire galleys taking away the HP of this dock, basically at half HP already. And now Blue says, you know what? Take the little corridor. I don't care. Later on in the game, I'll bust my way in if I want to. But for now, let's we'll have a little bit of peace. We'll wall each other off here. And I'm just going to try to dislodge you while you try to be as annoying as possible with your archers. So blue, beautiful wall offs to the west. Beautiful wall off to the east. A tower going up for our Goth. He is being so annoying. He is supply blocked. He is housed at 40. He is not building any more houses, I don't think. No, there it is. There's one. So right as that completes, the supply will start flowing again. Tower for the Spaniards going up much quicker. Remember, again, 30% faster. That yellow tower did not stand a chance, especially with only one villager building. It does cancel. It does lose a bit of stone. Dock, undefended. So yellow, despite a few little moves in the beginning, a few little annoying, cheeky moves, is now completely surrounded by towers. He has... Oh, never mind. The tower's not going to complete. Where are these villagers going? One villager down. Second villager down. This is very problematic here. A third villager down. Yellow, all of a sudden, went from killing 2 to killing 5. This tower is also probably going to be canceled. Yeah, it does cancel it. Actually, how far along was it? Maybe he got all of his stone back, yellow, with the tower that was here. I didn't notice how far along it was. Archer unit hanging around in the back, but army moving around. Yellow playing this quite like an Arabia map. We'll see if he discovers this blacksmith that's placed very far away. And the snow leopard that's just waiting for someone to come and enter its line of sight. Market for yellow. Second town center going up for our Spaniard. Very aggressive town center. We'll see if he garrisons it to help attack these archers. Once he completes it, man, they build structures fast. Look at that. Already at 100%. Yeah, might do well to get rid of these archers. Beautiful play by blue. But now yellow is here to the south. Unfortunately for him, blue already figured that out and walled it off as appropriate. 2 fire galleys still hanging out by the shore, although not much use for them at this point. Army supplies, nothing to write home about. Dziamdziak with basically what you see here. 7 military supply and a villager. Villager desperately trying to... their sword is actually bigger than the man-at-arms sword. Very interesting. Never noticed that. There you go. Learn something new every day. Blue, though, walling him off even more. Now we've got a monk. Where the hell is the monk? Oh my god, did the monk get... The monk got sniped. Oh man, these Gothic archers with their +1 attack and their +1 range are doing quite a lot of damage. Getting villagers left, right, and center. Getting monks. Where's this other one going to spawn? Is he going to make the same mistake again and spawn it right in the path of these archers? Yellow building a tower. Another villager down. These archers are doing so much damage. More than I've ever seen any kind of feudal age archers do, to be honest. 4 kills on them. Monk comes out. Let's see what he can do. 9 range obviously beats 5. Probably do better try to convert the villager. There he is. There he is. Oh no, garrisons him right away. Decides to convert the archer. Monk is nice and safe in the town center. How much HP? 16 HP. Has to heal that monk up right away. But yeah, I would probably do better here to try to convert the villager so that there's no more structures going up. Slowly, this tower is poking and prodding away at this house. Now it's Bloodless's turn to be housed at 50 to supply. Although he is 6 villagers up, 7 if you count this one villager over here who is not actually doing much economically. Will the monk get another convert? The monk gets a second convert, runs away into the town center again, and slowly but surely the army supplies have now evened up. Another convert. Now it's completely shifted. Remember, when you get a unit converted, it basically has a double effect where you lose 1, your opponent gains 1. And so that army supply from 7 is now down to 2. But there is a Goth tower in here with 2 men-at-arms. Now remember, only the German, rather the Teutonic Civ. Sorry, I had Schwarzewalde stuck in my head. Only the Teutons have the ability to give infantry units extra arrows when they enter into a tower or a town center or a castle. Every other civilization requires an archer unit or a villager. Now, the stronger the unit you put in, the more arrows it adds. But you'll see in this case, there's only one arrow because even though there's 2 infantry in here, they don't add anything. Another town center going up for yellow, a third as well. He is down 4 villagers. We'll see if blue decides to make an issue of it. Nope, instead going for the relics. So this attempt by our yellow Goth, attack the house, why the hell not? You have 1 kill. This attempt by the yellow Goth, his tower is now down, has completely failed. I don't think he's building anything out of these structures. They are unfortunately behind enemy lines. Doesn't have a single military structure back home. So if he comes under attack now by blue, who is moving out, as you know, the Spanish, very much like the Portuguese, once they rush their butts up to castle, the unique unit comes out, whether it's an organ gun, whether it's a conquistador. A petard also on the way to try to bust through this row of houses. It's very interesting. Some houses have some kind of windows, others don't, but they all have a nice little garden, a nice little wood pile, a couple of bricks. Very adorable little cottage lifestyle here. Almost all the stone gone. The Bloodless sitting at 500 stone, has a castle up, has towers, has made fantastic use of his stone, but now our Goth is basically clogging up the works, gumming up the works here with structures, with houses. So these petards are going to have, you know, some success initially, but he's going to have to get a few more. Another one carrying these 2 barrels. This unfortunate suicide squad here should be able to get these 2 houses now, but he is going to discover another row of houses, followed by another row of houses, followed no doubt by another row of houses. Oh man, Dziamdziak is in full emergency mode again. Still does not have any military structures at home. Luckily for him, this is Black Forest. If this was Arabia, these conquistadors would already be circling. 2 relics for him. How many for our blue Spaniard? 2 relics for him. Luckily for yellow, the 3rd relic did spawn inside his base. Now he's got enough stone off the back of 8 stone miners, plus I'm sure whatever these were. He's going to build an incredibly defensive castle. Let's see, villager count 69 to 74. So not too far behind. A 4th town center going up. Beautiful location. Gets the gold, gets the forest, gets lots and lots of space for farms. I mean, blue is being a little bit nonchalant about these buildings, I think. Maybe send 1 conquistador, maybe send 1 battering ram, something to get rid of this. You don't want... Remember with Goth perfusion, this barracks can pump out an endless amount of infantry incredibly quick. And our Goth, take a look at his resources, rushing his ass up to Imperial. He is 30 food away. No doubt once that hits 1,000, he is going to click up. Let's see if I'm right. Yes, immediately clicks up. This is now potentially problematic for blue. I hope it doesn't come back to bite him in the ass that he left his barracks here, because again, 1 of these barracks is equal to 3 other non-Goth barracks in terms of how many units it can push out. The output of that 1 barracks is what I'm trying to say in a very clear, disorganized way. The output of 1 Goth barracks is equal to the output of 3 non-Goth barracks. So to leave that guy behind there, I don't know that that's necessarily the best play here for blue. Oh, not the greatest petard hit. Although these 3 houses very, very weak. That being said, what is he really going to do? There's a castle here now. There's a siege workshop. The palisade was left behind. This is like, this reminds me of Wall Street. You know, the Wall Street in New York City. That was named after a Dutch wall that was built, except this one's a Gothic wall. So we've got a Gothic Wall Street, the remnants of a house. Is the barracks taking any fire? No, the tower can't reach it. The town center not garrison, or maybe the tower can reach it. I can't tell behind this house. Once this house falls in about 7 years, we'll be able to tell. University. Anarchy being researched. One of the coolest names upgrades. One of the coolest upgrades in the game in terms of the name of it. This allows the barracks to start producing Huskarls, which again, oh man, I'm very nervous with this barracks in the back, especially since this middle push here by blue is not accomplishing anything. I mean, 4 conquistadors finally getting a siege workshop. We'll see what comes out of there. Hopefully a ram of some kind. University as well. He's a minute and a half away from Imperial, but his opponent is going to hit Imperial right now. More and more siege workshops coming out of our Goth. And there it is, perfusion. 219% faster these barracks are going to work. I'm starting to get a little nervous here, guys. I want to keep an eye out on this barracks to the top, but again, conquistadors are in. They're not doing any kind of game-ending damage. I am absolutely shocked that Blue has taken such a slow approach to pushing into this. He must see the scores. He knows his opponent is a little bit ahead of him. And now the conquistadors, I guess they're searching. He wants to make sure there's no cheeky base being built anywhere, structures anywhere. Unfortunately for him, look at this. Look at how fast the Goths, the Huskarls are produced here. Oh my god, he's got 4 in here. Blue doesn't notice. This archer, this or rather watchtower is not going to do anything against Huskarls. Even more being produced. Oh man, I'm starting to get a little I'm starting to get a little nervous for Yellow here. He doesn't really have an army to deal with this. Okay, getting Inquisition for himself. That's going to help out a little bit. But I don't know. Are you really going to try to convert these Huskarls? They're such a cheap unit. I don't know that Inquisition was the right. Oh, and now they come out. Okay, as I say, are you really going to convert? He converts 2 Huskarls. But again, take a look at how fast these guys are building out of this barracks. This is absolutely atrocious. Blue has to run home. Probably would have done better with the Supremacy upgrade to give these villagers 40 extra HP, a 6 attack boost, and an armor boost as well. Instead, now this barracks is going to start spamming Huskarls. At the same time, Yellow seems to have stabilized here. Now he's the one pushing into the center. There it is. There's Supremacy. I probably would have recommended getting that first. The barracks continuing to produce Huskarls. Yellow very much in control of his resources, very much in control of his upgrades, although might want to get the last attack upgrade on these guys. Okay, not really doing too much damage, these Huskarls for now. Moving at their 1.15. Okay, I see a few conversion lines here. They need to engage with these conquistadors yesterday. Supremacy is done, I think, so take a look at the villager HP. 80 HP, plus 6 attack, plus 2 melee, plus 2 pierce armor. That's why I called the Spaniards, the Spanish, a paramilitary civilization. I mean, look at these. There's some villagers who benefit from monk upgrades like what is it, fervor. There are some villagers that benefit from blacksmith infantry upgrades. The Spanish villager benefits from something except for the speed, basically all of the above. Again, 80 HP, and now they're taking on Huskarls. This might be actually problematic for the Huskarls. Oh no, if there's one civ that can withstand a huge chunk of Huskarls coming out, it might just be the Spaniards with Supremacy. For now, the Huskarl's not getting too much done. Kill count, he's only 3 ahead, but he's managed to kill 30 villagers. Bombard cannons moving forward. Has to be careful here, though. Lots and lots of balls trying to knock this bombard cannon to his grave. Oh, beautiful shot. Manages to get his opposing bombard cannon and retreats. Huskarl streaming, trying to get the lumberjacks killed. Another siege workshop going up for the Goths. 3 bombard cannons in total once these 2 finish producing. The question is, what do the Huskarls focus on? Okay, here you go. Smart move by the Spaniard. Finally getting rid of the barracks, and now our Goth no longer has anything that he can attack into here with. Does lose another Huskarl to a convert. Oh man, if this was any other civ, these Huskarls could have absolutely run amok and done a huge amount of trouble. Unfortunately for Dziamdziak, again, he's playing opposite the Spanish, and with their 9 attack, they took that barracks down super fast. Although Blue, having not learned his lesson, has still left the archery range up, and now we are back to a full frontal assault here by Yellow. Blue trying to defend with Trebs, with bombard cannons, not moving his bombard cannon out of the way at all. Uh oh, the Trebs are unpacked. They're unpacked, which means they are weak as shit right now. Okay. Oh, it does move them in the last second here. I thought that was a Huskarl for a second. No, tries to convert the archery range, and Dziamdziak, instead of letting it get converted, just deletes it. And there goes the backstab. I was so worried for blue. I should not have been worried at all. Conquistadors, monks, villagers with supremacy are more than enough. And now the army supplies are basically identical, but our Goth sitting at 23 villagers ahead, more than his opponent. And remember, these guys are an Imperial, so they should have a big old juicy attack bonus, I believe +6 against buildings. Goths obviously don't get arson, otherwise it would just be too unfair. It's like the Lithuanians not getting the last melee attack upgrade, because that would just be too unfair to give them with the +4 potential that they can get with relics. Not too sure I like this, streaming in Goths one at a time. Your opponent has hand cannoneers, your opponent has conquistadors and monks. While the castle does end up falling too much. Gothic bombard here, but he's not paying attention. He's losing all his bombard cannons to this one bombard cannon that's hidden behind the wall. Okay, does miss. Oh my goodness, what an absolute champion. Bombard cannon will die to these Huskarls, but not before killing 3 of his opponent's bombard cannons. Yellow back with a vengeance on the water, wants to build some kind of navy, apparently. One Huskarl here doing a good job, but again, villagers 80 HP, attack on a 9. They might as well be Flemish militia without the attack bonus against cavalry, right? +21 attack against stone defense. Absolutely fantastic. One of the funnest upgrades in the game, and now the Goths are coming in. Let's see if they try to focus down this castle. They don't really need to care. Remember, I said they have so much pierce armor. Take a look at that. 10 pierce armor. Might as well be rattan archers. They absolutely do not care about archer fire. However, when you enter into a kill zone like this with one castle to the left, one castle to the right, a tower and a garrison town center to the north of you, what the hell are you doing? What are you parading around here? Pick a target and attack it already. Very aggressive castle moving from our Gothic player, backed up by siege, backed up by more Huskarls. Army supply exploding to 53. Take a look at the max civilizational population space here at 210. And the Goths streaming out of how many barracks? 7 barracks is good enough. You know, again, 7 barracks in terms of output is the equivalent of 21 barracks of another civilization. I should say most other civilization, not all of them. Bombard cannons destroying everything on the water, and now our Spaniard is in trouble. Did he wait a little too long to push into the center? We'll see. Huskarls running amok, but hand cannoneers getting them. Castles helping out, tickling away at their supply. Every little bit helps here. But elite Huskarls do come with a good healthy attack here at 16, and archer +10 attack against these hand cannoneers. So I do believe a fully upgraded Huskarl does only need 2 swipes of their sword in order to kill a hand cannoneer. My god, take a look at the idle villager count for blue. 50 idle villagers, 49, 53, 56. He is under attack. He is collapsing under the weight of the Gothic invasion here. The Iberian Peninsula has been invaded. The Goths are here. Even their villagers are joining in. They are attacking Spanish outposts, removing the visions. Our Spaniard down to less than 50 active villagers. The rest are just hanging around, shell-shocked, not knowing what the hell is going on. He thought he was safe. He thought he was controlling the center here with his conquistadors, his monks, his hand cannons. But no, my god, what an absolute fantastic game out of Dziamdziak, just doing what the Goths are designed to do, which is just attack, attack, attack. This is a civilization like the Cumans that does not get stone walls, which basically tells you what the developers thought about this civilization and how it's supposed to be used and played. Blue, way too late to get rid of that barracks. Without those Goths backstabbing him, those Huskarls backstabbing him, I think he could have held maybe a little bit longer. Instead, he ended up losing, what was it, like 30 plus villagers? My goodness, let's take a look at the numbers. 55 hand cannoneers, 200 Gothic Huskarls, most of them elite. APM quite nice, although in the early portion of the game for both players. Let's see if relics played any role. Not that much, only a 400 gold difference or so. Our Goth, a lot more food, a hell of a lot more food, rather a lot more wood. I don't know why I keep saying food whenever I see this wood. A lot more wood, a hell of a lot more food. Okay, not that much more gold and a lot less stone. Our Spaniard mining it out, getting those castles and towers and town centers up. Kill count, let's take a look. Our Goth with many more kills, but a lot of them civilian. 102 villagers and fishing ships, so below 100 military kill count. I think Blue may have played this a little bit too passively. I mean, the Spanish civilization, if you've ever played against them, especially on maps like Arabia, especially on maps like Nomad, you know just how aggressive they can be with their quicker building villagers, with their conquistadors. Like I said, like the Portuguese, once they get to castle, you know that unique unit is coming out. But the Goths, never, ever underestimate their spam ability. Static defense does not work against them. Again, 10 Pierce armor against these castles, against these town centers, and they avail themselves of some big old juicy attacking units, bombard cannons, trebuchets, of course. An absolute fantastic game. I was so worried here for Blue. Ultimately, my worrying was right. Like the like you're like a grandparent who just worries about a grandchild. I was worried about this backstab. We saw how quickly those Huskarls were coming out with perfusion, but he did eventually manage to clean that up. Unfortunately for him, in doing so, lost total control of the center. Our Goth building so many houses, so many buildings to clog that narrow alleyway up. Petard's not really doing the most they could. Instead, would have absolutely loved to see siege, although this is the siege of the Goth. Does Blue have a single siege workshop? I'm trying to find. He does not. Yeah, that's not good. I mean, he tried to clog himself. The works here, this alley with stone walls. Unfortunately, in Imperial Age, Black Forest, which, take a look again, there's no other avenue of attack because it's all forest. But in Imperial, once onagers come out and units that can destroy houses, trees, this map basically becomes open. Any player is free to create whatever path of attack. So overall, an absolute crazy banger of a game. I absolutely love to see Goths. You know, a lot of people think they're an incredibly weak civilization. Like I said, single-minded focus on the barracks can be potentially devastating, can also be potentially very weak, depending on your opponent, depending on their civ, depending on the map and their play style. But in this case, my goodness, 46 army supply, 39 elite Huskarls, the backstab with the barracks, my God, that was fun to watch. You don't get to see that in a lot of games, although, yeah, Blue, I think, learned his lesson moving forward. If there's any kind of structure behind enemy lines, priority number one is to get that structure and to destroy it. A few arrows making their way towards this Huskarl with 7 HP left, but again, 10 Pierce armor makes him basically immune from any kind of archer fire. And by the way, let's not forget the early damage that these Gothic archers did coming out of that archery range. Probably one of the top 10 of the casts that I've done so far, and the live streams and everything, of a Feudal Age army. That band of, what was it, 7 archers at the end, or 5? They did a lot of damage. They even got a monk, which was surprising. So overall, Dziamdziak putting on the aggression, showing us a clinic of how the Goths are meant to be used to overwhelm, to storm every settlement, every nation, every place they can. And they do that with 46-1 army supply. Dziamdziak gets the W, but GG to both players. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips and make sure to subscribe and enable notifications so that you're notified of my latest uploads.